Hello and welcome to the Buff Up Show. This is episode 6. We are back. It's the PC gaming show in association with the Next Gen Gaming blog. Once again, I am joined by Aaron Sullivan.
Hello, hello, hello.
And Av.
Hi again.
Hello. You're so glad to be back, aren't you?
Yes.
Aaron, we'll start with you this week. Why are you glad to be a PC gamer?
The TERA Beta, mate. I had immense amounts of fun on that beta. I think I capped like 3 characters, purely because I loved it so much. And it resulted in me cancelling my Swatter subscription. Imagine that.
Wow,
Sorry,
amazing,
Swatter.
amazing stuff. I'm sure we're going to go into that later. But the main topic, Av, dare I ask, why are you glad to be a PC gamer this week?
Why am I glad to be anything? Really, that PC is still the only thing I really play lately, so...
Cool.
This week hasn't been much different than last week. Just playing.
Good stuff, good stuff. We'll kick things off with a bit of news. Diablo 3, the new rune system was revealed. So basically, when we were told basically of the latest Diablo 3 delay that we're going to get it in Q2 now of 2012, we were told that the rune system was getting an overhaul, but they couldn't go into details because they were still trying to work it out. And now it's been revealed. Basically, the rune system before, the runes were these items that you would find out in the wild, and you would attach them to spells, a bit like glyphs in World of Warcraft, and they would have a cool effect on your spells. And there were all different types of runes, and all these runes had 5 different levels. So they ended up having something like 30,000 runes in the game, and it just became too hard to keep track of them for players, they felt. And they basically made it really simple. The rune system in Diablo 3 now is basically you get it when you level up occasionally, which is to say, not every level you're going to get a skill point, but you might get a rune. So maybe level 5 you get a skill point, level 6 you get a rune, level 7 skill point, level 8 a rune. Av, are they dumbing down the game, or do you think this is a good move?
Well, seems to me like it's a lot more like Warcraft now. With the talents and all being reduced. Like, I didn't particularly mind. All those runes were, to me, most of those runes were mostly cosmetic. Like, I didn't look into them much enough to, notice massive differences. So, it probably wouldn't be a bit of an issue if they reduce it.
Aaron, are they dumbing down the game? Did you want to go out and loot these runes, or are you happy just to make it simplified? Like, right, I'm going to get my runes as I level.
Well, I think I'm the only one here who didn't actually play the beta. So I might be wrong, but it kind of just seems like you could have just removed the runes altogether then and just had skill points while you were leveling. I don't see the point of the runes if you're going to dumb it down.
Because if you make it sound special and call it runes, it's special. It's a mechanic.
Fair enough.
So that is the new rune system in Diablo 3, and hopefully we will see it soon. A Q2 release in 2012. Something close to your heart, Av, Dota. Valve and Blizzard are fighting over the trademark. Basically,
Fight.
Dota is basically a mod of Warcraft 3. It's a mod made by the community.
Yeah.
And Valve are trying to trademark it. Dota 2 they're trademarking for their upcoming adaptation of the MOBA genre. Who does this trademark belong to, and should it just one should have it, basically?
I don't think it belongs to anyone at this point. Like, technically by end user license agreement, it belongs to Blizzard. Like, everything made in the editor uses their assets and all that jazz, their color schemes and all, and basically that technically belongs to Blizzard, like, because it was made in the editor, and to run it required their game. So I understand their statement, but most people are probably in like favor of Valve though, because Valve has a good a view in the community.
Yeah, Valve definitely have a good relationship with PC gamers, but surely they should have just called it something else. I mean, we've had League of Legends and we've had Heroes of New Earth.
Yeah.
Those guys have gone for original sort of names, even though maybe they've copied the art style and copied the gameplay very much so. Aaron, as a sort of an outsider, do you see this as a stupid dispute?
I do. Well, in a just world, it would not belong to anyone, as Av said. It's a community thing. But just like Counter-Strike, it has to get picked up by somebody eventually. They're going to want to make money out of it. And to be honest, both of these companies are awesome when it comes to PC gaming. So it's in good hands either way, really, isn't it?
Well, it is in good hands, but Blizzard didn't actually trademark this. They left it for so many years, and it's going to be a very nitty-gritty legal battle, because Blizzard are saying because it referenced the ancients. The ancients were part of Warcraft 3, and therefore it's their copyright. I don't know. I wish Valve would just perhaps change the name. I don't think anyone should win the trademark. I just think it should be like no one should have it.
Yeah.
The name is valuable, dude. I mean, a lot of people will probably pick it up, or were probably just interested in it from the get-go purely because of the name.
Yeah, but
so it's not something you want to let go of.
Well, any Valve game you'd be interested in, right?
Yeah, but certain franchises are staples. Like, I don't know.
Oh, but this can also lead to like mistakes. Like, when you hear Dota 2, do you think Valve?
That's what Blizzard are basically saying is like, by taking the name Dota, they're using all the goodwill that Blizzard created over years by creating Warcraft 3 and allowing the mod tools. So they're taking all that goodwill, they say, and basically using it for themselves, and they're going to confuse the consumer. So I don't know. It's a difficult case.
Confuse them how exactly?
Well, because it was originally a Blizzard mod, and now it's a
Valve game.
I'm
playing this awesome game instead of this awesome game. Fooled me. I don't think anybody cares as long as the game is amazing. I still think it's a silly dispute, but again, the name's worth something to both companies.
Yes.
So.
It'll be interesting to see exactly where it goes. Moving on to a subject within PC gaming is the sales of PC games. Now, The Witcher 2 is getting a lot of promotion at the moment for its Xbox release, but it was released this week that 1.1 million copies of The Witcher 2 were actually sold, despite all the piracy that was around that game. Remember, there was no DRM after the first couple of days in that game. The Witcher 2 have... you're not surprised are you surprised that this many people bought it? Because it's a good game.
No. That game was one of the best RPGs of the year. Like, surprised it didn't make more lists of top 10 games, really.
Well, it did get like critical acclaim, but I don't think that many people in the mainstream played it. But it's good to hear that 1.1 million copies actually sold. Aaron, are you surprised by this figure, or do you think it should have been more or less?
It should have been more.
And I
guarantee you, when it comes out on the console, it will be more. And it's a sad state of affairs that true. But buy more Witcher 2, guys. Come on.
You need to quite a beast of a PC to run it at its best.
Well, maybe at best, but it still looks really good, even on like a normal, affordable PC.
All right.
All PCs are affordable these days, man. There's no excuse, man. You can get a good PC for under $1,000. Sort it out. All of you. Buy Witcher 2.
You heard it here first. Aaron Sullivan is telling you. He's pleading with you. He's begging you.
He's right.
He'd put his last dime down on the PC just so he could play The Witcher 2 in all its glory.
And I'm not saying that only because I'm Polish.
Oh yeah, it's close to your heart, Av, because it was developed in Poland by CD Projekt Red. Are you proud of that? I know your government's proud of it. They touted it as a great export.
Yeah. Well, it is a good game. Like, there's no denying that.
Yeah, I think
it's a really well-driven, story-based RPG, which looks pretty badass as well.
Indeed, it is. Another good game, although it's not an RPG, is Alan Wake, and we finally got a PC port from Remedy, and this thing had a good reception. It recouped marketing costs within 48 hours, and this is a proper PC port, isn't it? It's got some good options, some good customizable options in the graphic side. You can change the field of view and so on. And Av, you looked at some images of this. It looks really, really good when you compare it to the Xbox images.
Yeah, it does actually. Obviously, since our consoles are pretty much quite a few years behind, so any proper PC now can run at least as good, if not way better than a console.
Yeah, so we're going through the images now, and you can see there's almost like a film of dust over the console images. It's just really blurred out. Whereas the PC images are quite sharp in contrast. You can see there's one image coming up here where the lighting and the water is glorious. It's really crisp. And then you go to the Xbox image, and it's just like, what have you done? And Av, I'm going to come back to you again. What do you think of these images?
Well,
Do the peasant thing. Do the peasant thing.
Alan West, it's like most of the time you'll probably still be in like the darkness and so half the time you probably won't notice this, but this is obviously a massive change, like on a graphical level, and this is a good thing, really. We need more of like proper console ports, like not just those half-assed ones where they just add those annoying console menus where you actually have to cycle through things instead of using the mouse properly. This is how it should have been done.
Aaron,
like every game.
Are you tempted to buy this again on the PC?
No, I already ordered it months ago.
What about future titles or DLCs? If they did proper PC ports, would you move away from the 360?
Well, at the moment, I've hoarded all the DLC on the 360 like three times. So no.
What
but
about American Nightmare? That isn't out
not,
yet, but it's just come out on 360.
If you've not played the game before, I mean, this is a great chance to pick it up. As for the blur, it might just be the post-processing anti-aliasing that the 360 uses. That can sometimes like create that crazy-looking blur that you're seeing there. I know Kingdoms of Amalur suffers from the same thing on a 360. So yeah, but it does look pretty splendid. So pick it up.
All right, so that's a couple of PC titles that have had some. Well, The Witcher wasn't a port. The Witcher was made on the PC, but Alan Wake, a good port. And Capcom this week have come out and explained to us why they release games later for the PC. And basically, they said they don't start development until the console game is completed. Now, I think Casey Hudson from BioWare came out this week and basically said that normally a console game is completed, say, 3 months before it's released, because it has to go through some certification with Microsoft and Sony before that gets boxed and goes gold. So Capcom give themselves about 5 months development time to develop the whole PC title. Should they hire more staff, Aaron? Should they develop it alongside the console version?
I think, again, in an ideal world, yes, but you have to think of it from a business point of view, and sometimes, unless it's a really huge release, and yes, I know Street Fighter can be considered a huge release, but its target audience is console gamers, and to target a PC audience and make a bigger team, it costs money, and they might not. It's not a certainty with PC with all the piracy and whatnot going on. So I can kind of understand it. But at the same time, I really wish they would just get bigger teams, man. Release them at the same time. We don't want to wait 3 more months to get games. It's not fair.
Yeah, especially when they're not ported over and made into proper PC titles. They're kind of straight ports most of the time, aren't they?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was aiming at earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I think that will do us for the news for today. One last piece. Guild Wars 2. Queue times. I was talking to Aryel the other day. I was in a queue for the TERA Beta, and a nice message came up saying, if you're in a queue for longer than 10 minutes, you'll get a special gift. 10 minutes later, I got a message saying, your XP, you get an XP boost of this much for this long, for being in a queue. So basically, they reward you for queuing on full servers. Guild Wars 2 has gone a step further, and they're going to be using these overflow servers so you can play whilst you queue, making queuing a thing of the past. Basically, you won't be on the same server with your friends, but you'll be able to progress your character, and when the queue is done, you carry that progress over onto your native server, and they're going to be using this for dungeons and instances. When there's a server overload, then you might have to port to another server. Aaron, are you fed up with queue times?
I've not actually been unlucky enough to have to sit around in queue for more than 15 minutes, even when SWAT came out. But I'm actually curious why people haven't done this before. It seems like a really awesome idea. Maybe it's technically hard to do, I don't know. But then, I don't know, I would think that the minds at places like Blizzard and BioWare were capable of thinking up such a thing. So I don't know why it's taking this long to be implemented.
With Blizzard, I'm thinking it's more of a technological issue, like the engine issue. To implement something like that, it would probably require more work than it's worth.
Yeah.
Like SWTOR probably could have been done, but when it was being made, I think things like that are best when it's still in like production.
Yeah, so you do it from the start. It's harder to implement it, go back and implement it, than it is to implement it from the beginning. I don't know, maybe it costs a lot, I don't know, to get these extra servers, and maybe it's a lot of hassle to carry the data over. I know a few people, a few of the bigger press sites have played some Guild Wars 2. Has any of you guys seen the coverage? Are you interested in that coverage?
Oh, dude, I saw a video of one of the main cities, and it's fucking huge, dude. Like, you could fit like 3 WoW seers into this one city. It just like goes on forever and ever. It's a bit worrying for people who have a lower spec PCs, because it might struggle a little bit unless they've got their optimization down like to a T. But it's looking promising.
Have you guys signed up for the beta? It's open for 48 hours, the sign up page.
Yep.
Yeah, you got on that. Do you know how I heard about that? I was playing a game of StarCraft and yesterday, and I was playing against a random player, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, Guild Wars 2 beta is up only for 48 hours." And I'm thinking, I'm playing a random race in StarCraft, and he's talking to me in the early game. Is this guy cheesing me?
Cheesing.
Yeah. So as I was building my SCVs, I actually went and had a quick look on their Facebook page, and the guy was telling the truth. So I signed up quickly.
Did he
Aaron,
cheat?
have you missed out on this?
I probably have missed that because I haven't.
Check your email. A sim sent you an email. God damn it. He sent you an email.
Well, is it too late now? Then
No, it's
the
not too
emails.
late. It's not too
No,
late.
it's
You can
still,
do it
still
now.
on.
If you do it right now, but you can't because you're recording the show. So right now.
No. All right, I'm stopping. All right, that's it. It's the end of the show. I'm off to sign up for the beta.
All right.
See you later.
We'll see you later. No, you got to stay, goddammit, because you did the most TERA. Moving on to TERA, last time we were on the Buff Up show, we were disappointed because we missed out on the sneak peek because the servers never really got going. Since then, we've had a sneak peek weekend and we've had the closed beta 1 weekend. I'm going to start with Av. Av, you played the Sorcerer.
I didn't play the Sorcerer.
Let's start off in with a very basic overview. What are your feelings as a whole about the game and your time in the game so far?
Well, my feelings haven't changed really. It's still the same idea. Like, the combat is incredibly well done. It's like the refreshing wind of MMO combats. You no longer just click the target and just face roll your face from 1 to 5 using skills. This is actually somewhat tactical. You combo your moves, which is a great thing. Like, normally, when you're faced with quests, for example, you kill. Still, this game has the very basics of questing, like kill 5 boars, then kill 5 bigger boars. But you end up like going between those quests and tagging, bypassing mobs just for the fun of combat.
Yeah, so you kill everything in your path. I mean, I leveled a couple of characters. I took a warrior to like level 6. I didn't pick up a single quest. I just went in there and just mashed on the buttons and did some combat because it was a lot of fun. I mean, you played the Sorcerer class. How do you feel that class played out? Would you play it in the full game?
Maybe. I would probably pick the different race though.
Oh, yeah, you played the Ellen? The Ellen, is it?
I don't know how they're
little girl
called.
race. Which
Midgets.
is a bit, paedophilic.
Yes. But as for the class, it was enjoyable. I mean, like, you have the jump back, and your mechanics are quite tricky. Like, you can drop an area of effect bomb, where they can walk into and trigger it. You have your like grenade move, but most of those require the enemy to be in a specific place. Like,
yeah, I actually played on your account for the video which we have on YouTube, and it's very much about space control and ducking back and getting your opponents in the right place and unleashing the damage on them. And you've got a number of moves. You've got close range moves, you've got long range moves. So it's certainly interesting. Aaron, are you back from the Guild Wars 2 sign-up page?
I am, yeah, I'm back.
You played the most characters out of us. First, can you just take us through your experience so far, what you think of the game, and then go into some detail on your the classes that you played?
I think I've hit it right on the head with the whole game. Combat is just really, really well done in this game, and it's funny because you have a lot less skills than you would normally have in an MMO, but they still manage to make you feel like you're involved in the game, so it doesn't really matter, kind of thing. The other thing about TERA is that it's actually fun to play a caster now. I picked up a priest first off just to be like, okay, I've played a priest now, I can like push that aside. But I actually started enjoying it. They're actually like viable in PvP, of all things, on their own. I mean, I took out quite a few warriors. I would actually say that warriors have a hard time against priests, purely because everybody can move around now. Obviously, you've got a lot of instant heal spells, and you've got a sleep which you can just use straight away, no cost time, and just run around and infuriate people. And I'm just looking forward to this game. It's going to be so immense.
Good stuff. So which classes did you actually play other than I know you mentioned the priest. What else did you manage to get your hands on?
I played a bit of a warrior just to see if these people were failing or whether it's actually really hard to play a warrior, and it actually is. I think it's the hardest class to play in the game, I think. If you go by the menu screen anyway, it definitely says it's the hardest class to play.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
purely because you need to be in somebody's face to do any kind of damage, and everybody's got these skills which enables you to keep out, so you need to be dodging and using your skills at the right time. So there's no rolling your face across the keyboard as a warrior in this game, which is really good. I played a bit of a sorcerer as well, not as much as Av, but that was pretty fun as well. Usually with like mages and stuff, initially it's great because you've got all these skills, and then you realize you're only using like 3 of them, but most of the skills, well, at least till like level 22, seemed viable. So yeah, it was good fun. The boss encounters are probably the one of the better parts of the game as well. There's a lot of big ass monsters, as they call them in the game, scattered around, and you can try your might against those, which is pretty fun, especially when they're like charging and jumping all over the place, and you've got to dodge and try and get your damage in, etc. So it's shaping up really good.
Yeah, so obviously we're in beta and the full graphical settings are not available, but you know, it is a great looking game, isn't it, Av?
Yes. It does have like this Korean vibe, like most other Korean styled games, but it does look good, like properly good.
Aaron, you like the Asian art style? Is this pleasing you on all fronts? I know for me, I love the graphical fidelity, but I'm not so digging the visual style of the whole game.
See, I know you say that, but I mean, I can understand with the clothing. I mean, it's all scantily clad females. Sometimes I wonder what's going on when my warrior rolls off in a like bikini / hot pant thing, and like she's supposed to be like fighting this big ass beast, and she's literally wearing nothing. It's like if you got hit, you'd still be dead in real life.
So right, she's agile. She's agile, all right.
Have you seen my character though?
But like the environments are pretty varied, man. Did you get outside the main city? Which
I
still
moved
feel
out the main
gorgeous.
city. I moved into that I can't remember. It's like a logging area.
Logging camp, something. Yeah.
There's lots of wood.
Yeah. Did you get into the ferry area? That was pretty nice.
No, I don't think I did get into the ferry area. I mean, the world looks pretty big. I mean, each zone is divided into almost like sub-zones, so they lend themselves to varying art styles. Just to talk on the combat, I know we were saying it as a big action MMO game, but some doubters were like, oh yeah, I'll have a look, but I'm not believing the hype. But then when they came in, they're like, oh, you can't move between combos and stuff. I mean, you are rooted to the ground, aren't you, when you're doing a hit? Normally in a third-person action game on the console, you can move whilst you're doing these moves. I mean,
well,
is that an issue?
that's a balancing act, it really, isn't it? No caster would stand any kind of a chance if you could just run up and be in their face and hit while you're moving, kind of thing.
It's also like an Asian game design though, because Monster Hunter, for those that have played it, will understand that in that game, you can't change direction but mid animation. You have to finish animation, then you can change direction. And we've always had this discussion about Resident Evil. You can't only now you can move and shoot in the new Resident Evil 6, which is coming out. So do you think it's an Asian thing, or do you think it's?
I think this is particularly a balancing act. To be honest, I think it adds a bit of technicality to the whole procedure. So you have to think about what you're doing. You can't just spam out your moves and run around and start like annoying people kind of thing. You have to time your moves, especially as a warrior. I know some of the other melee classes have a bit of trouble as well. Berserkers in particular are actually pretty slow to hit. A lot of people complain about that because it's really hard to hit anybody because the arc for the hits, your bigger hits are so slow, you can literally just move out the way while they're trying to hit. But I guess that's the challenge of it. That's where the fun comes in.
Yeah, but they should implement something. One game did that before. Just can't remember which one. Oh, it was in WoW, for example. Stopcast macro, if you recall.
Yeah.
This should be like implemented, because when you start casting a spell on a sorcerer and it just keeps casting, and you can't move, that is slight issue. Like, you should be able to cancel that cast and move, not move while casting, but cancel it.
Yeah, fair enough.
To squeeze you a bit more for your knowledge, Aaron, I know you managed to see some PvP action on the PvP server, and it was a bit of a gank fest.
It was. Good luck to anybody, or commiserations to anybody who was trying to get their horse, because there's a quest for getting your horse, which is at like 11, and you have to go to this like ranch outside of town, which is obviously where there's no holds barred. That's it. You just like get fucked up by anybody, and people were just camping there knowing lobies were coming in to get their horses, and just like fucking them over.
In this game, it's just as soon as you leave the safe zone, it's all out warfare. And this is like a gather quest, so you're not actually. Could you actually fight near the quest giver?
You can, but the fun thing is, when I tried to do it like the fourth time, some idiot came along, some berserker actually came along, trying to like fuck me over, and I ignored him, and I was just like running past him while he was doing his like huge swings that never hit anybody. And then after he realized he couldn't hit me, he actually went and tried to pick on somebody else, and I was like, fuck that. And then I started to hit on him, and then it was like 2-on-1, and he got fucked over. So you know, if you meet some nice people, you can actually like turn the tables and annoy the griefers. So
did you have some mutual respect between the guy you saved and?
We did. It was unspoken, but it was there. It
was unspoken. You just looked into his eyes and you're like, yeah, I got you back.
And he nodded.
I think that wraps up for TERA. Just a quick note. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Is it over for you, Aaron? What level are you in that game?
30-something.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just it became a chore after the novelty of, oh yeah, this guy's talking to me, I can actually listen to him kind of thing, wore off. It became a bit of a chore, and I found myself skipping past the voice acting because it was like you sat there for 10 minutes listening to this guy yammer on about stuff you didn't care about, and then the whole PvP not being as fully fleshed out as I'd like it to be. I'm sure it will get better in the future, but at the moment where it is, it's just, there's not enough to it.
Is it hard to go back to an MMO that doesn't have this amazing TERA-like combat?
That's the other aspect. How can you go back to clicking stuff?
Well, you say that, but Guild Wars 2 is going. I know Guild Wars 2 is a slightly more actiony with the respect that you can dodge, and you know, changing your weapons obviously changes what abilities you have.
Also, I think cast on the move as well.
Yeah, but it's not TERA combat. Av, can you go to Guild Wars 2 with the? Are you going to be going to Guild Wars 2 with a heavy heart and wishing it was TERA combat?
Oh. It's free. Why not? It's free.
Well, you said it's devoid of any monthly fees. It's still a full price.
Indeed. Game. Well, I will play it. Obviously, I've been waiting for it. Though, about combat, I would probably like TERA combat more in there. I don't know how much the combat will be there, like similar to that, because I have been dodging the videos. Like, I've had this feeling that when I see it, I'll start to pick at it. Like, I'll start to see faults in it, so I'm trying not to.
Okay, alright, good stuff. Aaron, anything else to say on that?
Guild Wars their combat system seems a bit, or their skill system seems a bit weird. I know you saw this article too, maybe in Kotaku. Apparently, there's only like 10 skills for each character.
Your skills change depending on what weapon you're holding, and if you've got a single-hand weapon, you can put that with a different weapon, like a gun.
But it's a very small, focused cluster of skills, and you could take that in a good light that they're focusing and making sure everything's balanced. But then you can also take it in a bad light that it's kind of like, where's the feel of progression when all you're doing is upgrading skills you already had when you were level 15?
Oh, I'm sure they will do it. I mean, if you think, have you played the first Guild Wars?
A little bit, not as much as you.
Well, there have been 8 active skills you could ever take with you, and one of them often was a resurrection. So Guild Wars had hundreds of skills, which were often just slightly different than each other. So this is like a massive change for them. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, they reduced the number of skills, but they reduced the number of similar skills. So you won't have like axe chop, which is basically three hits with an axe, and then you have axe slice with 2 hits of an axe. And those 2 skills, like, that's what they did with reducing the amount of skills. I don't think that's a bad thing.
All right, not a bad thing. That's what Av says. Aaron's worried.
Yes.
Av says it's not a bad thing. I think we're going to end it there, guys. That has been episode 6. We're just going to clean up some stuff. Twitter, you can follow @official_NGB. You can follow me. You can follow Aaron. And obviously head over to the nextgengamingblog.com if you're interested in console gaming and the PS Vita specifically. We've got loads of Vita coverage there right now. Loads of reviews and videos and all sorts of madness. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for joining us. Aaron?
Thank you. More importantly, everybody, buy Witcher 2. It's not too late. You can be a part of it.
Now, go, go.
Buy it now, and every Polish man gets. Don't know, do you get anything for every copy?
Get a visit from the President of the United States.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, a new show every 2 weeks, fortnightly. You can get the NGB podcast every Monday, the Buff Up Show every other Friday. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll catch you next time.